Hello and welcome to A Bit Above Podcast.
I'm Audra.
And I'm Hadassah, and we are two average women living oceans apart. Our show displays a reachable lifestyle where we work to be better versions of ourselves in our day-to-day life. We know that the constant strive for perfection can lead to anxieties and disappointment, so we make changes that enhance our lives without giving up the things we love. Join us each week as we chat about motherhood, positivity, feel-good stories, relationships, and everything in between. Audra, did you watch the Super Bowl last night?
I did. Now, I only watched the Super Bowl for the commercials.
I've heard all about the commercials. I don't think I've ever watched a Super Bowl before. What about the halftime show? Don't people like that too?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Like literally my girls came home just in time to watch the halftime show, which this year the halftime performance was put on by The Weeknd. And I just read that The Weeknd wasn't paid any money to do the halftime show. And in fact, he spent $7 million of his own money putting on the halftime show. And it was amazing. I mean, it's The Weeknd. Everyone knew all of the songs. I think he sang like 5 of them. But the performance for being Corona at the Super Bowl, I thought that the show was amazing. I haven't read any of the reviews because I don't care what people have to say. I loved it. My kids loved it. It was a really good performance.
I did see some memes of The Weeknd with some underwear on his face.
Oh, heavens. So they had white masks, which pretty much covered their whole face and their head. So I'm wondering if that's where they got the impression of underwear. Somebody also referenced on Facebook about toilet paper. And I was like, I'm not even going there. I don't even want to know. I just love the music, which is what I love. But let me tell you something funny about the whole Super Bowl, the game itself. I watch it for the commercials. So while the game is on, I'm very quiet, doing my own thing, playing on my phone, whatever. Then the commercials come on. I race in to watch the commercials. He knows this and he starts talking to me. And I'm like, shh, the commercials are on. But seriously, after the third round of game commercials, and me having to shush him every time the commercials started, I thought it would sink in. It didn't. That's how we watched the whole game.
Yeah, but then when he's watching the sports, you're trying to talk.
Oh, yeah. He's like, hold on. Wait, what? One more play. What after? What? Score. What? I'm like, you're not listening to me. And then I'll walk away. But
I just pulled up I hear the word jock straps. I'm not really sure what that means. I think it's the thing that goes across.
Okay, that's what male athletes wear to protect their junk.
I guess they do look like that, but it really, this is scary, to be honest. I get the whole mask thing, you know?
They were in close proximity during one part of the performance and only so many of them. But let's be honest, if you needed some really secure masks, was this not the best way to go?
Oh, yeah, and it even protects the forehead sweat.
Oh, see, double duty.
Yes, this looks like underwear. At first I thought people were being dramatic, but I just pulled it up on my iPad right now, and literally I can put legs through the eyes.
I didn't even look that close, clearly.
I just zoomed in.
I'll have to check it out later.
I do like The Weeknd. I don't really know his music that well, but I do sing along to the songs.
Okay, so you don't know his music, but you know the words to the songs?
No, I'm saying I don't know him. When you say you're a fan of somebody, you truly know where they're from, all the projects they do. I like the songs. I like Blinding Lights. I like The Hills.
I know when it comes to The Weeknd, he doesn't spell his name like the legit weekend, like we would spell the weekend.
Oh, Grandma. Wow.
Yeah. Well, when somebody, instead of spelling it WEEKEND, like a weekend, he leaves out the extra E at the end. So it's just WEEKND.
Mom, you're embarrassing me.
Well, I'm just saying. So someone's like, oh, I didn't care for The Weeknd's performance. I'm like, clearly you don't even know who he is because you spelled his name wrong.
Oh, yeah. I've never even been confused with that, but I guess I'm way cooler. So
if you didn't know, now you know.
We want to welcome you if this is your first time listening to A Bit Above, or if you're a recurring listener. We just want to thank you for tuning into this episode and for joining us as we talk today. Today we have an interesting show because we'll be sharing the story of the BTeam Facebook group. Before we get started, we just want to let you know that we are using this platform to give you a voice. If you ever wanted to talk about something unique in your life or something you feel passionate about, we invite you to come on our show and we want to highlight your story. If you've never even considered something like this before, we're hoping that you would just give it a thought because we really want to chat with people that are relatable to us with relatable stories, careers, families, whatever it is, or something unique. We want to hear from you. So you can find us on social media at abiteabovepod, or you can send us an email at abiteabovepod@gmail.com. Now, if you got the chance to listen to the first episode where we introduced ourselves and we talked about how we met, then you probably know that we met in October after I started a Facebook group and it blew up. Audra joined the group and then we somehow met, whatever. That's just super short. You can listen to the first episode if you want how our love story and how we met, which you should because whatever, it's a cute story, but whatever. If you're listening now, some of you might know about the group because you're part of it. And well, for you, this episode is going to be kind of like an insight on how the group started and what we managed to accomplish since then. And if this is your first time hearing about this, then listen on because you will hear a story about a large group of people that come together to spread positivity and community. This group is unique in the way it's run, and some people even call it the happiest place on Facebook.
Oh, 100%. I mean, I literally avoided Facebook for like 8 solid years.
So here goes. So back in January, I was pregnant, home all day, feeling very isolated. We lived in a city with barely any Americans. For those of you who don't know already, I live in Israel, so that sentence made sense. Okay. I have been here for almost 3 years already. One thing that has been constant in my life for the past 6 years or so was that I listen each day to the Bobby Bones Show and also their podcasts. I follow the crew and all that.
For those of you who haven't heard of the Bobby Bones Show, in short,
say the Bobby Bones Show again.
I didn't say booby. Let's see.
You said Bobby Bones Show.
For those of you who don't know what the Bobby Bones Show is, it's a morning radio show based in Nashville, Tennessee. The fans of the show are called the BTeam. I just read the next part. I was like, are we really going there?
Yes. Or if you don't want to go there, I'll go there. But I dumped that on you.
Okay, hold on. Pull myself together. The BTeam got its name because Bobby Bones really wanted to call the fans the Boners, but that didn't go over really well with the corporate office, so they switched it to the BTeam, which also represents the B-level people in the world. We aren't cool, just regular people living regular lives.
The Boners. I forgot about that. You know, I actually Googled what the B-Team was recently, and I was shocked when I heard about the Boner story. I mean, I was listening to them, but I forgot all about it.
Yeah, we definitely had a conversation about that, and it was just like a quick flashback of, oh gosh, yeah. But B-Team, way better. Boners, glad they changed it.
Well, I would have totally loved to run the Boners group on Facebook. We'd be declining a lot of requests to join.
Don't know if I would have joined.
People will be joining with little pictures of handcuffs and whips.
G-rated. This show is G-rated, people. Don't worry about Hadassah.
Well, anyways, back to the point of the story. So I have looked in the past for Facebook groups for the BTeam before, but there wasn't any. Maybe there was like one, but it since has been archived. So I decided to open one up. And on January 29th was the day that I opened the group. And the first person joined on March 20th.
So you already had your 1-year anniversary. We should have threw a little party.
Yeah, but nobody, well, see, but if you listen to the story, nobody was in it. It was the group of myself.
You didn't have any friends. So I guess March 20th, maybe we can throw a party.
March 20th. I had my, the first member of the group. Then I had my baby in August. I gave birth alone without my family or friends because they weren't able to travel because of COVID. And also to this day, they still haven't met the baby or anything like that. It was very hard because not only was I adjusting to married life and coming to terms with my wedding getting canceled also due to COVID in March, I was also battling with postpartum depression and a huge sense of isolation. I was having a hard time waking up in the morning and I constantly felt like I wanted to run away from the life I was living. I'm sure that we'll have more time to talk about postpartum depression in the future, so we'll readdress that in a different episode. But anyways, so as soon as things started feeling the hardest for me, One by one, someone would randomly join the group. It got more and more each day. And on October 12th, I was just living life, taking care of the baby, whatever. And I just look at my phone and there was like 50 member requests. And then a few minutes later, I checked again and there was like 200. And then over and over again, just like that. I approved over 1,000 requests just that day. And then from then on, there was just people joining hundreds at a time.
That's amazing. I can't imagine what that had to feel or look like.
Well, I didn't even know what to expect because I was just looking for a group that I want to be part of, but I never expected it to just grow so quickly or to the level that it's come to even today. So it was a lot of like learning as I go, you know?
Did you think there was something wrong with your phone? Did you think you were on the wrong page? Did you like panic? You're like, where is this coming from? Where are these people coming from?
I assumed if people knew about the group, I assumed people would like it. I knew that it could be big. I just never marketed it or anything like that because I don't know, like I'm not the type of person to post on like Facebook pages like, oh, join my group. But maybe I should have, but I didn't. People just truly looked for the group themselves and they found it just by searching.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely popped up on my feed and I saw it for it. I'd only went back on just a couple months before I had actually joined the group. And I finally was like, well, I keep seeing it. I'm going to join. And I think you had like 300 members at the time.
Oh, wow. So you were pretty early on. That's for sure. Once that day happened with a lot of requests, it went from like 80 to 1,000, 2,000. That day, I realized how big things were getting. So I added a few people to help moderate the page. And we'll revisit the moderators soon because coming up, they'll be on our podcast on the 18th of October. And the reason why I'm giving dates is so you can see kind of how quickly things progressed. You know, so this was just like a week later. Morgan number 2, who's on the Bobby Bones Show, she's the social media manager of the Bobby Bones Show. She joined our group thanks to Adrian, who is one of the moderators. She sent a DM on Instagram to Morgan and to the other cast members, and Morgan joined our group and went back to the show and told them about us. So the next day they talked about us on the radio. So here's a clip of that.
Also, let me shout out a group on Facebook. Morgan told me about this. The BTeam, which is they're really passionate listeners of this show. They have their own Facebook page with thousands of followers, right?
Yeah, they do.
And they're not just over there hating on each other?
No, they share all of our stories, and they're really positive, and they're sweet about everybody on the show. But to get into the Facebook page, you have to, like, answer questions about your knowledge of the show and, like, who you connect with and why you want to be a big fan of the show.
So how do you get into that? Oh, they'll let me in.
You fail the test.
Yeah, you just, so
it's a private group, yeah.
Yeah, it's a private group, and you just, like, ask to join, and then you answer their questions. And it was kind of weird because I had to answer, and it was like, who do you relate most to on the show? I was like, I guess me. But it's really cool. They're a really cool group of people that are super positive, more than our Facebook page.
Here are the group rules. Number 1, no hate speech or bullying. No promotions or spam. Respect everyone's privacy and be kind and courteous. And if you do that, they let you stay in. I think I'll go over sometime this week and do like a Q&A hangout over there.
Cool. Oh,
I'm not even a member yet. I'm about to join though, if they'll let me in.
Yeah, they may not.
What do you mean? It's BBS BTeam.
Oh,
Yes.
I guess
Yeah.
Morgan did, or so people from the show can join?
Yeah, they asked me
Oh.
to join. They're like, if you want to see the positivity and not have to, like, see negative stuff all the time, please come join.
Gotcha.
Facebook.com/groups/BBS BTeam.
That's amazing. Now hearing it, having not heard it before, that's like a huge shout out. And I'm so glad they had the conversation because they know that we exist and we are 100% here for positivity. Since Morgan number 2 brought it up and it was mentioned on the show by Bobby, I've seen it on other social media platforms as well.
After they talked about it, obviously we blew up even more and we reached around 8,000 members. Since then, they have talked about our group plenty of times. The Bobby Bones Show is basically the one and only thing I fan over. There is no other celebrity or show or anything like that would be better than the Bobby Bones Show for me in my world. So the fact that I have now thousands of like-minded people who have the same passions as me is literally priceless. No matter how hard it is to run the group and how many hours it takes to keep things run properly, it is completely worth it to me because each day I wake up and I feel like I'm surrounded by thousands of the closest friends. I mean, I even met Audra this way. Also, the moderators that I work with, they are so kind, they're so so genuine and they're such good people to know as well. And then also just members that have reached out to me privately or are now friends of mine or just people that I hope that I can be friends with.
Since I joined, I mean, I certainly got to know Hadassah. There's a few other people that I've bonded with. And now I have probably like 25 more new friends that we follow as well in our regular lives that are just amazing people. And to surround yourself with such positive people, it's just encouraging to be that much more positive.
The quality of the friends that I have made from this group is unreal.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's not a better way, like I said, to surround yourself with like-minded people who don't post negative things. So when you go on their Facebook pages themselves, it's all positivity as well. I mean, even if someone's having a bad day, there's words of encouragement and that day gets turned around real quick.
Also, if you want to be friends with us, Audra and I are hiring friends. You can put in your application. We love friends. We want to know more people. I mean, isn't that true, Audra? Like, we're bored.
Absolutely. I mean, we love people. We are people. Like, we love to talk to people. We love to get to know people. We want to know all the things about great people. How many times can I say the word people in one sentence?
Around the same time that the group blew up was also the same time that Bobby, the head of the show, had gotten engaged to his fiancée, Caitlin. Obviously, it was all the talk in the BTeam group. The BTeamers were talking about wanting to put together a gift for Bobby and Caitlin. After much chat about it, there was a general agreement that Bobby would want us to donate money to charity in their names, because what else are we going to buy them, right? Like on October 20th, I put together a fundraiser with the St. Jude Children's Research Hospital off their website. And we set a goal as a group to reach $8,000 because of the 8,000 people that were in the group at the time. Isn't that crazy, Audra? That one time there was 8,000 people in there.
I remember this because I was there. I donated. I remembered, I'm thinking, gosh, if everyone donated just $1, every single person, and that seemed like such a huge stretch.
Less than 3 days later, we reached our goal of $8,000. I don't even think it was 3 days because it was late at night when I started it one day and whatever, maybe 2 days, whatever. We then switched the goal to $15,000 thinking I hope we can make it. We didn't even know if we'd make it, but we have since reached $27,000 to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, which is insane and crazy. If you know anything about St. Jude, they are a children's hospital based in Memphis, Tennessee, I believe. They work based off of donations, so none of the medical expenses are covered by the parents.
The families that have children that are there are going through such a struggle in a point in their life that the last thing that should be on their mind is money. And we know that we can't take all of it away, but every dollar helps. So it was definitely a great fundraiser for a great cause.
I just want to give a huge shout out to the 33 people who donated $69. Okay.
There was 33 people.
And not some people didn't want to donate, $69, but they donated $10.69, or $6.09. Wouldn't it be funny if we just called them out right here?
I mean, maybe we can do another fundraiser.
Oh, for sure we will.
Okay.
And we should call it the 69 fundraiser. Either they can donate $6.09 or $69 or $690.
Exactly.
$6,900.
Something that equates or equals 69.
Yo, I mean, I'm sure we'll touch on 69 later in this conversation, but another thing that happened in the group, kind of on the same theme of giving to others and pimping joy, was a post that somebody made right before Christmas telling people to drop their Amazon wish list. And over the next few weeks, people received surprise packages in the mail from fellow BTeamers, which was amazing. Such a surprise. I saw a picture of someone's front door and tons of boxes from their baby registry.
I saw that and I thought it was the sweetest thing.
These are just two examples of the giving that we see in the group. We can spend hours discussing the things that happen, but bottom line is that people are uniting together to create something so huge and positive, and it's unreal. I believe that lives have been changed since the start of this group.
Oh, 100%. Mine has, so I can only imagine there are thousands more. We've done TikTok video. We've done a 'Twas the Night Before Christmas story. I mean, anytime there's an opportunity to join something, I mean, literally people come out and in droves. They're fantastic. The energy, the conversations that you have to put something together. And let me tell you, a couple of these projects, they're whipped together in only 2 days, which anyone who does editing and all of the fun behind the scene things knows, that's crazy. It usually takes like weeks.
We have spent so many hours trying to clip together videos or things like that. But we want to provide as many times that one B teamer can talk to another person and have that sense of like friendship or community. This is the goal right here. That's the goal. Now the group is currently at over 32,000 people, and most of the Bobby Bone Show members like on the show are in the group and are engaged in messaging, commenting, things like that. We are not directly affiliated with the show, but we are recognized by them, and we hope to work with them in the future and the shop forward as much as possible over time.
The shop forward is absolutely fantastic. That's where you get all of the apparel and gear. And I know both Hadassah and I, as we mentioned in a previous podcast segment,
all of them, all the previous podcasts we've talked about the shop forward.
For sure. But we both have the gratitude journal. And that's something, again, you can listen back and hear all about it. But that's like a daily guide to life, it feels.
Mary is just the kindest person. I've gotten to message and chat with her back and forth a little bit over certain things. And she is probably one of the hardest working, kindest, genuine, and human person that I've ever met.
Oh, she's fantastic. I just watched her Insta story the other day, and she's so relatable. She had on a face mask and says that she loves to answer FaceTime videos with her mask on just to get the reaction of the person who's calling her. And I love it because I could so see myself doing that. What is unique about the BTeam Facebook group versus, say, another group on Facebook?
We all know how social media is these days, especially Facebook, and people are really uninspired to go on Facebook as much because they know that it won't leave them with a positive feeling inside. So our group is set up and run with a specific guidelines that keep the members engaged and also to keep it a safe and comfortable place for everyone. The feedback that we receive from the people is that they're just so relieved to have a place to escape from the distractions of life, society, politics, negativity, corona, right?
Oh, that's a whole nother thing. So how do you make the decisions on what is approved and what is not?
We have 4 basic rules. Number 1, no hate speech or bullying. Number 2, respect everyone's privacy. 3, no promotions or spam. And 4 is to be kind and courteous. When a post is submitted, we are the ones that approve it to the group. So we follow this basic method to sort out these posts. Okay, so if the post is show related, we approve it unless it breaks one of the 4 main rules, right, that I just said before, or it is a repeated topic or post. So we limit the topics to around 2 to 3 posts, depending on the topic, because we just get tons and tons of requests for the same things that we want to give everybody a chance to post, but we can't spam up the page.
Wait, we can't have 69 posts about 69?
Oh, I mean, we received 69 posts about 69 or about, oh my God, everything else. Like the Friday morning dance party is like bam, 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 bam.
But everyone wants to jam to the Friday morning dance party.
Yeah, but if there's let's say there's 3 posts about it, then you can jam in the comments. If the post that's submitted is not show related, then we put it up for a vote between the moderators. There are more non-related posts than related posts. Like whenever anyone has a thought about anything, they post it on the group. I mean, if it's engaging or if it's relatable to a lot of people, you know, it's usually pretty obvious. We want it to be a community. We want people to really feel comfortable sharing things.
Definitely. I feel like maybe they got a sense that this is their new family. And if they tell their own family, that they're going to tell the BTeam family.
For sure. And we want that. And we love that. I love that. I love that. The problem is that there are 32,000 people in the group.
We're a really large family.
It's a very large family for sure. And some family members have been disowned.
We all have that one family member or 2 that we're like, we're not related.
Mm-hmm.
I've definitely seen the hashtag BTeamStrong, and I've used it myself, and I'm wondering if there is any significance behind the words.
It hasn't officially been introduced yet to the group, but BTeamStrong is a tagline for all the actions of BTeamers spreading joy or helping one another. We have goals in the future to expand the BTeamStrong movement to support bigger and greater things, but in order for us to get there, we want to strengthen our foundation of joy by starting at the beginning, which is spreading joy and helping those around you. You don't need to donate $27,000 to St. Jude in order to change the world. It all starts with the people around you.
So I've used it as a way to embrace a hug. I've used it as a, hey, we're all in this together. I've used it as basically almost like our signature on things so that people know that we're all together. We are BTeam strong. So speaking of the future, how do you see the group in a few years from now?
I see it being around the same amount of people or more. That doesn't really matter. I like the chunk of people we have right now. I want our bond to grow over time, and I believe the BTeam will be even tighter of a family than it is right now. I see people develop more friendships together. I see us working alongside each other for different projects, for different videos or fundraisers. And I also see us working alongside the Bobby Bones Show to help them promote their show and to be a voice for the listeners. I also see the BTeam group being a place that the Bobby Bones Show goes in order to gather information to prep for the shows. And I actually do believe that that's already happening. I think Mike D is probably watching over us to see what he can bring to the show.
Oh, I love that.
I also see us having more B-teamers on our podcast so that we can be another voice for them. We listen to a lot of podcasts like the Bobby Cast and Four Things with Amy Brown and The Sore Losers and Movie Mike. And I don't want to forget anyone, but I think that's really outweigh what else we got. But I do think that as we do listen to a lot of podcasts as B-teamers, that a lot of us want to join in on the conversations. You listen, while you're washing the dishes, while you're driving to work, and you're like, oh, I got something to say, but you can't really say it. So I want the B-teamers to know that they can come say it here. We want them to be involved with our conversations on the show as well.
Oh, absolutely. And I do know, because I have seen where people have posted kind of where they're from. I mean, we're more international. I mean, there are people in other countries, like you said, you yourself, you're in Israel. There are other people in other countries who also watch and are fans of the BTeam, of the Bobby Bones Show.
Most of the members are from America, that's for sure. But we have almost 100 Canadians. We got from Nigeria, United Kingdom, Australia, Germany, India, Japan, Vietnam, South Africa, Mexico, Bangladesh, Israel. There's four people from Israel. Who else besides for me? Interesting.
Wait, how many more relatives of yours? Oh, there you go.
My husband. We got 4 from Egypt. We have 4 from Brazil, New Zealand, Uganda, Ghana, South Korea, Guam, Ireland.
See, you can just go on and on. That is amazing. I didn't think just how big scale that this really is.
Do you know what the most popular city is in our group?
Okay, if I had to guess, let me guess. I would say popular city. I'm guessing Nashville, Tennessee.
Nope. Austin, Texas.
Oh, Austin, Texas.
Yeah, but that's where the show started, so that makes sense.
Oh, that does make sense. I forgot.
Do you want to know what the percentages of the ratio, the women-men ratio?
Oh, take a gander at it. I would say 50-50 because I feel like there are a lot of male. No, not.
We got 84% women, 16% men. Coming up next, we'll chat with the other moderators on the BTeam group about some interesting things that can happen behind the scenes and some of the things that we've seen. We want to welcome to the podcast the moderators on the BTeam Facebook group. We have Brenda, we have Adrian, and Donna. They spend a whole lot of hours working on running the moderating of the BTeam group. I can speak for them for 1 second to say how hard that is. So I really appreciate that you guys took time off of your actual jobs to come talk to us.
All right. So it's just some basic questions. And then there's 2 rapid fire ones where you'll just say your name and answer it. But just at the beginning, if you had 25 hours in a day, what would you spend your extra time doing?
First thing that came to mind was sleeping, but that just doesn't seem very productive.
We could all use extra sleep. I find that very productive. What about you, Donna?
I would definitely deep clean my house. It seems like with the kids being home and virtual school and working from home, you would have more time to do any of that, but I do not.
I would definitely choose sleeping. I've got 2 little ones running around and a husband who works 3rd shift. So there's a lot going on over here.
I would be setting those naps up.
They're getting too old for them.
No, naps for you, not for them. For you.
Okay.
But you're not too old for it.
Never. No. Never too old. Lunchbox can contest. We're never too old for this.
Right.
What is one thing you cannot live without, Adrian?
Netflix is the first thing that came to mind. I have no idea. I've been binging a lot of shows lately.
I love it. Donna.
That's a hard question for me because, the other moderator showed my child passed away a couple of years ago. You learn that you can live without anything after you lose a child.
Aw, I'm so sorry for your loss.
Oh, thank you.
Brenda, what about you?
I couldn't live without the Bobby Bone Show.
If you could collect anything, what would you collect, Brenda?
I already collect too many things. I've got a whole room of NASCAR. Well, we're getting another dog, so maybe collect dogs.
Ooh, that's a good one. What about you, Donna?
I want to collect vacations. More and more places and more things. Warm vacations.
Oh, I like that. What about you, Adrian?
The Shop Forward. I would probably collect everything from them.
You do already, no?
I know.
Oh, if only we could screenshot that. Look at you. Good collection.
All day, every day.
What is your favorite food?
Any kind of chip dip, jalapeno, buffalo, chicken dip, anything like that.
Oh, you like the spicy stuff?
Yes, I do.
Ah, nice. What about you, Donna?
A good old-fashioned hamburger. They call them mama burgers. Those big, thick, juicy hamburgers. Those are my favorite.
Oh, girl after my own heart. I love that. What about you, Brenda? What's your favorite food?
I have to go with a good steak.
I could get behind that for sure. Would you rather be a hummingbird or a tiger? Adrian, you're up.
Tiger.
And why?
I don't really know. That was the first thing that came to my mind.
Brenda, what about you? Tiger or hummingbird?
Two things I really like. Well, I'm going to go ahead and go with hummingbird, even though I know I don't have the energy for that. There's no way.
What about you, Donna?
I am definitely more the tiger.
Oh, and why definite on that?
You haven't got to see my temper yet.
I thought for sure somebody was going to give me like a roar sign.
Now, I am that whole protective tiger, mama cub, don't mess with my kids. And since I'm the oldest one in the group, they're all my kids. So don't mess with none of them.
So these two, I just want you to yell your name and then your answer. And I'll call on you and then you answer. Who wakes up and checks the Facebook page before they pee?
Hadassah, obviously. I'm still waking up and my arm goes right to my phone and I'm like, I have like this anxiety of like some explosion happening over the night when I'm sleeping, and I'd have to like clean it up on the group, obviously. And the first thing, I don't even look at anyone. I just grab my phone.
All right. And the other rapid fire is, what show was Bobby previously on and is going on again? You have two options to this answer.
Adrian, Going Wild with Bear Grylls.
What is the kindest thing someone has ever done for you?
Someone sent me a copy of Fail Until You Don't.
From the group?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Yeah, and Kelly sent me a BTeam bracelet. I'm wearing it right now.
Back to when my daughter passed away, we were 500 miles from home. The girl that I worked with that I'd known maybe 3 months, and she called me every day and said, "Are you up? Get up, take a shower, get something to eat." That meant a world to me. I'll never forget that.
That is amazing. It sounds like you surrounded yourself with some pretty good people.
Yes, it was great. But, when you don't have family and I do have family, but they were back here in Kentucky and I was in Maryland at the time. And just to know that someone's thinking about you and worrying about you, that was really nice. And she didn't have to. She didn't have to go out of her way for that.
Well, now you have a family of just about, if not 32,000 members. So
almost as big as my real family.
I think that when you're kind to others, people love to be kind back. But I love the little things. I love when someone holds a door open for you, even if it's COVID, and they stand as far away as humanly possible with their fingers still on the door so that you don't have to touch it if it's not automatic. So it's those little things that I love. What is an example of something that happened in the group that showed positivity or pimpin' joy?
Well, actually, Hadassah just brought this up a little bit ago, talking about Kelly and her bracelets. I know that she really enjoys doing that for people, and it brings all of us joy buying them from her. She takes the profits that she makes and she donates that money to St. Jude.
That is awesome. I didn't know she did that with the profits. What are the qualifications for someone to get blocked?
Blocking someone is one of our last resorts. We don't like to block people. We don't want to get rid of members. We like growing and making it, a bigger and better page. But if a member is continuously rude or making negative comments or not following the rules that we even have listed when you first start. For example, we had a member that was constantly bashing the show for not mentioning a certain artist. They kept posting links, trying to promote their site, trying to, just slide in different ways for this artist after we numerously times have asked them not to do that. And finally, it just got to where it was going to get ugly. And the best thing to do was to block that member. And before we do block anyone, we gather the information, come together as a group, talk about it, and then make that final decision.
What are the most common things people post about?
I'm trying to think, lately it's been mostly about the unfancy cooking segments. Once one comes out, 20 people are going to try to post it at the same time. So no, Bobby Water and the 69 posts are definitely overdone every day.
Yeah, I mean, we're less on the Bobby Water, I think, but it still comes a lot.
Yeah, that has calmed down quite a bit. And a lot of people there for a while were making different varieties at home. So it was just Bobby Water till it was coming out our ears.
And Adrian, how has the group affected or changed your daily life?
Oh, geez. How hasn't it? I mean, I think we can all agree we're pretty much glued to our phones all the time, checking out the page, trying to see what activity is going on. I mean, we always have to figure out if we're going to accept new members, approve posts. We also do like engaging posts, anything that we find that could be entertaining. We want to bring it to the group so everybody can weigh in and have their 2 cents. I know we also do a lot of promoting for the Nashville Podcast Network.
How are the comments moderated?
Time consumingly. We try not to post more than 3 of any topic a day, because if you get more than that, you are flooding everyone's notifications and you can't see everything. So we do try to keep 3 of any type of topic. If it's something that's not show related, we will take a vote on that to see if we think that, hey, this is more than just, I think it's a nice idea. There's a couple of us that think that the group would like it. And if they're negative comments, we delete those out. We don't allow that. We go through, we'll watch, different posts, especially Lunchbox posts seem to try to pull some negative comments, and we try to watch those closely. Before we delete those, we talk about it again. We are a unit. We never want someone to say, well, this moderator did it or that moderator did it. We all have had a part in that, and we rely on member feedback as well.
I was raised a lot by my grandparents, and they had said many times, it takes a village to raise a child. And so, it definitely sounds like this is true here, where it takes a village to raise the Bobby Bones BTeam page.
Exactly.
What is an example, Brenda, of something quirky or strange that has been posted?
Okay, well, we have had members that we have had to do things with because of their previous behavior that have come in and tried to change their profile up enough to where they thought they could slide in. Never seems to work out for them.
Right. We always catch them right away.
Always catch them. They do something, whether it's they try to add a middle name instead of just changing the whole name. And they don't use their brains. And that was probably why they were asked to leave in the first place.
Okay, now everyone can answer this question. What is one thing you would want the B-teamers to know?
Stop bashing Lunchbox. I'm over it.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
That is so funny. We love LB.
I know, he's such a good guy. I can't stand it. We always cringe anytime there's a post regarding him because we know that we're going to get people that are so negative towards him.
I feel like anyone who has not even controversy, but has something unique about them, people like to comment on how they feel about the person. We're all characters in life. And I always say to my girls, know people for who they are, but you don't have to like everything about them. And Lunchbox as a whole is a great person. I might not like everything that he does, but as a whole, he's good to go.
I would want them to know that we don't look at who is making that post. We're looking at the post itself. So I don't want anyone to think that it's ever personal. If you don't get something posted, it's not because, oh, well, Susie Q posted this and we don't like her. That's not it. We don't even know it's from Susie Q. We know it's a post. So that's what I hope everyone realizes.
That's amazing, because I don't think people would have known that. So that's why we have these behind the scenes questions and answers.
Before they get ready to post something, take a minute to scroll down through the group for a while and make sure that it hasn't already been posted a bunch of times so your feelings don't get hurt when we say no.
Damn, I love that one. The one thing that I would want the BTeamers to know is that when we get requests for prayers and support, we really truly want to be able to support every single person. But unfortunately, there's just hundreds and hundreds of posts that if we approved one, we're going to have to approve them all. I mean, we can't decide whose post is going to go through and whose won't, This is why we created the prayers post, and we hope that people will get together and support each other.
All right. Thank you guys for coming on to chat with us. Now you better go, because there are definitely posts to approve.
Thanks for having us.
So that basically sums up the gist of the group. We want you to come check out our group. If you're not a BTeamer, you don't have to be to give it a look, and to just see what it's like. You might end up checking out the Bobby Bone Show. Just being able to have a place to unite. I didn't create the BTeam. I just brought them together. We're very powerful in numbers. We have a whole lot that we can accomplish when we have 30,000 people together. And I just want to thank every one of you who is in the group for changing my life. And if you're a member of the Bobby Bone Show, which, just thinking big and wishing big that maybe one of you came and checked out this episode. I know I can speak for the BTeam, but I'll just speak for myself. I appreciate the show so much and the consistency it's brought to my life, moving from different places or living far away from my family since I was really young.
So if this is the first time you're listening in, we encourage you to join us as we put up 2 podcast episodes a week. We have guests that are BTeamers. We have guests that are non-BTeamers. We have an Ask the Therapist session, which is fantastic. He gives us great feedbacks. Thank you, Joshua Nichols.
Did you say feedbacks?
It sounded weird.
Did you say feedbacks again?
We get great feedback. Thank you, Joshua Nichols.
The style of our show is all about lifestyle, but realistic lifestyle. I don't mean lifestyle like green juices and 30-day ab workouts, which we'll probably do some of those at some points, but that's not only what we're about. We're talking about the good. We're talking about the bad. We're talking about the hard. We're talking about the ugly. We're talking about everything that's real life. And we want to display a lifestyle of constant growth, but I don't mean going from 1 to 100. I'm talking about being a bit above where you are right now. Whenever you are feeling comfortable where you are, just go a bit above. You know what I mean? No one says that tomorrow you need to lose 50 pounds, but you can start walking a little bit more. You can start incorporating habits and things like that. So that's what we're doing. We're not a self-help podcast, but we are self-helping ourselves, and we are showing you that. We invite you to come join and subscribe to our podcast.
So you can start today in becoming a bit above. So make sure you follow us on social media at A Bit Above Pod, and send us your emails at abitabovepod@gmail.com.
We put out episodes every Wednesdays and Fridays. So thank you so much, guys. Have a great week.